Have you ever felt like your rescue cat is still deciding about you? You brought them home, you did everything right. Good food, a warm bed, more patience than you knew you had. And still, for weeks, they watched you from across the room, like a stranger they hadn't made up their mind about yet. Most rescue owners read that the wrong way, and late at night, they quietly wonder if their cat even loves them at all. Here's what nobody tells you. Rescue and raised can be the very same cat living by two completely different rulebooks, and there is one quiet sign of trust a rescue cat gives you that a cat raised from a kitten never had to. Stay with me. By the end, you'll know exactly what it looks like. Picture the old man who lives next door. He and his cat have been together since she was a palm-sized kitten, and every night she climbs onto his chest and falls asleep to the sound of his heartbeat. They aren't owner and pet. They're two old friends who found each other early and never had to wonder about the other since. It's easy to think she's simply the affectionate type, but it isn't personality, it's biology. Back in 2019, researchers at Oregon State University ran cats through something called a secure base test, the same test once used with human babies. About 2/3 of them showed secure attachment to the person they lived with, the same quiet bond a child forms with a parent. And here's what matters for you and the cat you brought home. That bond takes shape early in life, and once it settles in, it stays remarkably steady. So a cat who grew up feeling safe from kittenhood isn't deciding to trust the person beside them. Their heart made that call long before the two of them ever met. "No one had to convince me the world was gentle," she seems to say. "I was lucky, I just always knew." That head start has a name. It's called the secure base effect, and some cats are handed it for free before they ever learn to be afraid. Now, picture a different kitten. The same handful of weeks, the same tender age, but instead of a warm chest to sleep on, there was a wire cage, or a colony behind a restaurant, or nothing at all, just cold and engine noise, and the long wait for morning. There's a short window early in every kitten's life, roughly between 2 and 7 weeks old, that behaviorists call the socialization window. Whatever a kitten learns about the world in those days gets written in deep, almost like a first language. A cat who missed the gentle version of that window didn't come out broken. This isn't a damaged cat. It's a cat carrying a different rulebook, one they never asked for. "I learned early that safety could vanish overnight," they seem to say, "so I kept a little of myself held back, just in case." So if the cat you live with is slow to lean in, hear this clearly. Slow to trust has never meant unable to love. It only means they started the friendship from a harder place than a cat who grew up safe ever had to. If seeing your cat this way means something to you, do 2 small things. Tap like so more people who love a rescue cat can find this, and subscribe so we can keep learning to understand them together. That's all. Now back to that rulebook. Watch the cat you brought home settle into a new place and you'll notice something tender. They learn the room before they learn you. They memorize your footsteps before they trust your hands. They find every exit, map every quiet corner, and only then do they begin to wonder about the person who keeps refilling the bowl. For a cat who grew up safe, trust is the starting line. They simply begin there. For a rescue, trust is the finish line, earned one careful step at a time. That distance they keep across the room isn't coldness. It's a decision being made, slowly, in your favor. The people who spend their lives with shelter cats say the same thing again and again. What these cats need most isn't more affection poured over them. It's a routine they can count on, and the freedom to close the distance at their own pace. "When I finally choose to sit beside you," they seem to say, "please know I meant it." And a cat who has learned that trusting the wrong thing can cost everything does not offer that lightly. This is where so many people quietly lose heart, because they're reading the wrong signals. The cat who hides under the bed for the first 2 weeks isn't rejecting you. They're gathering information. learning whether this new world keeps its promises. The cat who flinches when you move too fast isn't remembering something you did. That's an old reflex from a time long before you firing on its own. And the cat who won't quite hold your gaze yet isn't cold. In a study from the universities of Sussex and Portsmouth in 2020, researchers found that a slow, soft blink is how a cat says they feel safe, and that cats drift closer to a person who blinks gently back at them. A long, hard stare says the opposite. In their language, it feels like a threat. So when the cat you live with looks away from you, they aren't shutting you out. They're keeping the peace between two friends who are still learning each other. This isn't rejection. It isn't fear of you. It's caution the world taught them long before you ever opened your door. I'm not turning away from you, they seem to say. I'm still letting myself believe this home is real. So if you want to make it easier for them, the science points to 3 things that matter far more than any toy or treat. The first is consistency. The same feeding time, the same soft voice, the same shape to the day. Predictability is the language their nervous system understands best, because for a long time, the unpredictable was the thing that hurt. The second is to let them come to you. Every time you hold still and let them close the gap on their own, instead of reaching in, you leave a small deposit in a bank of trust that only they can open. And the third is the gentlest of all. Simply share the room with them, asking for nothing. Read your book, drink your tea. Let them learn that your company is safe, even when nothing is expected of them. And there's proof this quiet approach works. In shelter research published in 2020, the cats who slow blinked back at people were adopted faster than the ones who didn't. Their trust became something you could actually see. Just stay near me, and don't ask anything of me yet, they seem to say. That's how I learn you're mine to keep. It was never more affection they needed from you. It was more of the calm, ordinary days that finally let them exhale. So here's the sign I promised you at the very beginning. The slow blink from across the room, the soft belly, turned up in sleep, where the door can still be seen. The small head bumped against your hand from a cat who once bolted at the sound of a key in the lock. For a cat who grew up safe, those things are simply the default. For the friend you brought home, every one of them is a choice. A cat who learned the world could not be trusted, deciding all on their own that you can be. This isn't a smaller bond. It isn't a broken one. It isn't love running on autopilot. It's the same love the lucky cats give freely, only yours built it by hand, from nothing, and chose to give it to you anyway. How long did it take before the cat you rescued first fell asleep in the same room as you? Tell me below. I read every single one. A kitten trusts you because they never learned not to. The cat you rescued trusts you after they had every reason in the world not to. That isn't the smaller love. That is the largest one there is.